Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Jonathan Coast, and in today's free copywriting tutorial, I'm going to be sharing with you the 6 vital criteria that's required in order to have a profitable story. So, if you're doing some copywriting and you have an element of like a main character and they're going from A to Z, and it requires them to take a course and go through a couple of different challenges and probably apply some willpower and use your product in order to achieve whatever desired outcome that they want, and you're telling a story. If you have each one of these elements that I'm getting ready to show you in your story, then you're virtually guaranteed to have a profitable outcome. If you have a call to action, you'll assume that is one that requires the reader to take action once they're done reading. So this is the 6 vital criteria required in order to have a profitable story. So let's go over it. So I have it on a Google Docs here. I'll have this in the description. So you just click on the link and it'll take you directly to this Google Docs. And this is it right here. So the first one is really important. It's actually the most important. And we're talking about our target audience here. We want to know exactly who it is that we're talking to, because the problem is marketers are not specific with who they're targeting. They feel like any and everyone is their market. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. The fact of the matter is, the more specific you are with your perfect prospect, as far as like their needs, their wants, desires, get into who they are and know their problems and what their pain points more than them. If you're able to do that and you're able to get into the conversation that they're already having in their head and be really specific with who you're talking to, then that's basically the foundation of this 6 vital criteria. And also you're able to relate a lot more with your perfect prospect, and your story is able to speak directly to them. Because the problem is, if you have a broad message, you're not really resonating with anyone specifically, and it's just so broad that you're not able to get into stuff that's like relatable to any one individual. So that's why we want to make sure that we identify our perfect prospect and we have a strong idea of the needs, wants, desires, what keeps them up at night, what has them staring at the ceiling, what are their desired outcome, what are their pain points, where are they running from, where are they running towards. So identifying our perfect prospect is number one. So number two is our main character. Now, it's really helpful if we have a good main character that's relatable to the perfect prospect, someone who has some of the similar challenges and objectives that the person who is reading the story has gone through themselves. It makes the story that much more relatable. So that's the second element of our vital criteria here, is our main character, getting into who it is, whether it be yourself or someone else. Because a lot of times when you're telling your own story, a lot of people will have in the back of their mind, well, of course you're going to be, romanticizing the situation. It's your own story and you're trying to sell something. So if you're able to, share someone else's story and then, have them go through some challenges and objectives where the reader is able to resonate with them, then that's really important. So that's the second element, your main character. And number three is really, really important. In fact, there's probably not a point where you even have enough of these, and that's proof. You want to proof load your story. You want to throw in as much details and be specific and show as many screenshots and social proof. And if you're talking about numbers, if you quote numbers, show them the black and white. Show them the receipts. If you're talking about money, show them the bank account information. You don't have to show your account and routing number, but show them the proof of the deposit and withdrawals. If you're talking about anything, you want to show as much proof as humanly possible, especially with niches like health and fitness and nutrition and wellness. You want to show them like the before and after, and show them a lot of pictures. Like I said, you can never really do enough here, but this is really powerful. Number four is include the lows, because ideally people want to try to make it seem like it's a rags to riches, and I'm going through this course and the next day I lost 17 pounds, and or I'm going through this course and the next week I achieved $200,000. But the reality is that's not the case with a lot of people who go through these courses. So if you're able to tell the truth and even include the lows, talk about how they're going through course after course, or I tried program after program, and I tried all these different diets. I even tried this diet. I tried this diet. And you just talk about all the different ups and downs of the story, then that makes the story that much more realistic, relatable, and it just humanizes the whole experience. And it keeps the reader locked in, because it's more believable and just it's truthful. You're just being honest and you're telling the truth about the situation at hand. You're not romanticizing the experience, and you're including stuff that needs to be said, because you're sharing, stuff that they can potentially avoid. Hey, I tried this. You don't want to go down this road. I tried this too. I had a terrible time with it. It might work for you, but it didn't work for me. Just telling your experience. You know, that's what it's like when you're telling an experience, you're sharing your experience with someone. Not everything is going to be peaches and cream. So that's why number 4 is including your lows. That's going to make the story that much more relatable. So number 5 is the perfect ending. And this gets back to identifying our perfect prospect, knowing exactly what it is, the desired outcome. Where do they want to go? What are their main objectives? What are they trying to achieve? What is the reason why they're buying the course or the program, or they're trying to, look for a solution? What is their desired outcome? And you want to have the main character in your story not only just go through similar challenges and go through similar courses and, same kind of diets that the reader has been going through themselves, but also you want to show that the main character is someone who's just like them, has achieved the desired outcome. The person who's reading the story, that's what they want. They want to lose shed those extra pounds so they can look good for their husband again, or they want to, get an extra $200 a day so they can, save up for that vacation a lot sooner and take their family and kids out and, free up time in their week. So when you're able to picture and visualize and perfectly illustrate that perfect ending from to the reader from the main character, how they tried this, we tried this, tried this, and I had these ups and I had these downs, and I finally got to the end result where I've been trying so hard to get to. You want that perfect ending to be what it is that the reader is trying to achieve. So that just gets back to number 1, the foundation of identifying our perfect prospect, all right? And then number 6 is inspiring and motivating and saying stuff like, we were talking about the main character here. If this guy can go through it, then I know that you can go through it. And if you're talking about yourself, you do self-deprecation. You say, and I'm a knucklehead. I didn't even graduate high school. I had to go back and get my good enough diploma, my GED. But so I know if a klutz like me can figure this thing out, then you'll have no problem. All you got to do is just believe in yourself. Go through the course like I did, avoid these pitfalls, and follow my advice, and then we'll get you to where you're trying to go. Inspire, motivate. If you have that element, talk about how the main character was able to overachieve, and how the main character was able to go through, how the main character was able to be resilient, and even through times where he felt down on himself, he was able to self-coach himself. And you just want the whole story to be inspirational. And when you do it this way, you'll find that when you have stories like this, the reader is going to be so glued in and locked into the story of the main character, because they feel like they can relate to it. It's almost like they're reading about themselves. And so that's what they want. They want that perfect ending. And when you're able to add an element of inspiration and motivation to it, it almost has like this a seductive indirect call to action, where they feel like they willingly want to take action themselves. I want to be just like this main character. So you'll find that a lot of times you won't even have to add stuff like urgency boosters or scarcity, or say, hey, there's only limited copies left, because you'll find that the readers are genuinely want to get the whatever it is that you're offering, or whether it be the solution that will, in order to get to the perfect ending, he had to go through this type of solution, and and break through these barriers, et cetera, et cetera. So that's pretty much what it is. So that's the 6 vital criteria for a profitable story. And I wanted to share this with you. It was first coined, I believe, by James Scholes, who is the founder and the creator of the Evergreen Wealth Formula. And I wanted to share this with you because this is like a copywriting formula that I feel like is extremely underrated, and not a lot of people are talking about this. So I really want to get that out there. And just for reference, I'll leave this in the description. So if you click on the link, you don't have to put your email or submit anything. It'll take you directly to the Google Docs. All right. So yeah, that'll pretty much be it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like content like this, then I highly recommend that you check out my website in the description, jonathancoast.net. I talk about everything when it comes to increasing traffic and generating more sales. And also be sure to look at the tools and the resources. I'll have this Google Docs here, and I'll probably throw in a couple of different swipes and examples, case studies that you can look at that have some of these elements involved. All right. So yeah, with that said, I will see you in the next video. See you then.